Coming up in today's show, we're going to break down the latest Paul George trade rumors. Also, we're going to break down the news of Josh Hart and his player option deadline that has been extended, so the Knicks could be having some deals go down under the table right now. Also, Derrick Rose, it sounds like he is going to be done with the New York Knicks. We'll break down that news from Steve Popper. But if you are ready for NBA free agency and our coverage here on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon. We're definitely going to be going live for day one of NBA free agency. But if you want us live for day two and maybe even day three, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon so my bosses know that we need to get it done. Let's start with Paul George, though, as there were reports coming out last week that the Knicks and the Los Angeles Clippers have touched base and talked about what a Paul George trade framework could look like. And we broke that down on the channel last week. That's why you subscribe, so you can stay in the loop on everything New York Knicks. But now it sounds like the trade talks have stalled, and the Knicks have gotten a little bit nervous and potentially cold feet on a PG-13 trade. This is what the LA Times reported. They said after some initial discussions, the Knicks have become hesitant about acquiring Paul George. The Knicks also think George's representatives will ask for a contract extension. He's due to earn $45.6 million next season and $48.8 million the following season if he exercises his player option. He is also eligible following this season, coming up season, he is eligible for a 4-year, $220 million extension. So a lot of money could be coming the way of Mr. Paul George. And that's definitely what the Knicks are a little bit concerned about. He's 33 years old. He's due a whole lot of money, and he really hasn't played that much basketball over the past couple of seasons. In fact, over the last 4 years, there's been 119 missed games for Paul George. He's had a lot of injuries, and the most recent one was a knee injury that sidelined him for the playoffs. So he's 33 years old, coming off a knee injury, owed a lot of money, but I got to be honest with you, he would be the perfect on-court fit for the New York Knicks. If you could just turn injuries off, Paul George would be the perfect small forward to pair alongside Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. I think it'd be a perfect fit, a perfect marriage going forward, but that's not just the reality. Also, though, he is a CAA client. So if the Knicks are only going to go after CAA clients after it sounds like Rich Paul and Clutch Sports do not want to deal with the Knicks, then maybe Paul George is really all you got to deal with. But this is my take on it overall. The Knicks called the Clippers, which was reported. The Knicks called the Clippers. And in fact, the Clippers asked for too much in a Paul George trade. The Knicks thought the Clippers' asking price that they set for PG-13 was just too high. The Knicks pulled out of trade talks. Maybe they reconvene. Maybe they get back together and talk about a deal could look like maybe a couple days into free agency. But right now, it sounds like Paul George will not be a New York Knick. Anything could change, and it could change very quickly. But right now, everything we're hearing are the two sides are very far apart on a potential framework. I want to ask you, though, should they revisit these conversations? Should they go after the CAA client in Paul George, bring him to New York and make him a Knick? What do you think? Should they do it? Type T for trade, type P for pass. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. We're going to get to more news and rumors coming up in a second, but I want to let you guys know that we have more than just the blue New York Knicks Now Real One t-shirt. We actually auctioned off our first ever black Knicks Now t-shirt during the NBA draft. Shout out to my man OG. He won the raffle. Now we're going to put it on the team store, and we're going to let you guys go and get that. Get it right here. chatsports.com/realknicks. Get your black Knicks Now Real One t-shirt. It is crispy. It is icy. I'm getting mine pretty soon, coming in the mail. Go to chatsports.com/realknicks. All right, story number 2, Josh Hart and the Knicks. Josh Hart had a player option deadline last week, and he, Leon Rose, and the New York Knicks agreed to extend that deadline all the way up until free agency begins. And this could be a thing for multiple reasons. The Knicks could be trying to swing a trade and keep Josh Hart on that $12.9 million player option so they don't enter the luxury tax. Also, another reason, if Josh Hart opts into his player deal, he's at $12.9 million, and the Knicks have full rights to that non-taxpayer mid-level exception, with just enough breathing room to where they would not be in the luxury tax going into the season. And reports are coming out the Knicks do not want to enter that space. So the Knicks and Josh Hart are working together to make things right. This is what Woj said about the news. He said an option for Hart that would deliver the Knicks cap flexibility would be an opt-in and an extension off his $12.9 million salary for next season, which he is eligible to do for up to 140% of that salary. We'll talk about what an extension looks like in a second. He also added that this would give the Knicks access to using their full $12.2 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception in free agency. The Knicks have $149 million in guarantee salary on the books for next season, which is $16 million below the luxury tax level. And this is a very smart play by the Knicks. And I guess this is a luxury you have when Josh Hart is repped by CAA and CAA runs the New York Knicks. Josh Hart is going to get his money, no doubt about it. And he has a projected extension for 4 years and $81 million. And when you add on his player option, that becomes 5 years, $93.2 million for Josh Hart guaranteed. So Hart is going to get his money, and he is going to be a New York Knick. They are going to get this done. You don't need to worry. You don't need to be scared. Josh Hart is not going to be a free agent. He's not even going to test the free agent waters. He is going to be a Knick and be a Knick for a very long time. But this could mean that the Knicks have really kind of pivoted for where we all thought they were going to be, that we thought they were going to make a trade. Whereas now it sounds like they may want to use that full $12.4 million in NBA free agency to go sign someone. So maybe the Knicks have shifted from the trade market to free agency, or it means they're looking at a trade and they don't want to go into that luxury tax. A lot of stuff really circling around right now. And I know this. If we get any more news and rumors about Josh Hart, the Knicks, what they're going to do, trade, draft, no longer draft. Draft's behind us, but trade, free agency. I promise you this. We're going to keep you guys up to date. We put out videos every single day on the latest latest Knicks news and rumors, and we're going to be going live on Friday for NBA free agency. So subscribe and turn your notifications on and rock with us here over on New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. All right, let's close out the show talking about Derrick Rose. Josh Hart and Derrick Rose, they had that same deadline. Derrick Rose's team option, did not get picked up by the New York Knicks. That was of $16 million. They have declined that. And then according to Ian Begley, the Knicks are going to have a $12 million trade exception, which is really good when you're trying to negotiate these deals and play the salary filler game. Steve Popper of Newsday also said Derrick Rose's time with the Knicks is likely over. So what team will he go to next? There were some rumors that the Celtics, the Lakers were two teams that were interested. Maybe a reunion with the Chicago Bulls, a nice little farewell tour for D Rose where it all started. I just want to say thank you for everything Derrick Rose gave us. I mean, in 152 games that he played for the New York Knicks, he was solid. 14 points per night, just under 4 assists, 46% from the deck, and he eventually became a good three-point shooter. His averages don't really reflect that as he got better really in his second stint with the Knicks where he wore number 4, not number 25. That really never went right with Melo and Joakim Noah. But he got a second chance, and he became a fan favorite. And it was mainly to do with his playoff series against the Atlanta Hawks a couple of years ago, where you could argue he was the best player on the floor for the New York Knicks. Started that series coming off the bench in a six-man role where the Knicks traded for him at the NBA trade deadline. Kind of was that spark plug, very similarly to what Josh Hart was for this year's team. But Derrick Rose stepped up in a big way in that series. Unfortunately, the Knicks were not able to win, but he went in that starting lineup, won a game for the Knicks, and he was great. In those 5 games, 19.4 points per game, 5 assists, 47% from the deck, and a blistering 47% from downtown. I'll always remember that playoff series, and I will always remember Derrick Rose wearing that New York Knicks uniform. Once a Knick, always a Knick. And Derrick, I just want to say thank you for everything, all the memories, you being a leader, you being a good teammate and a captain and someone that these young Bucks could look up to. So I want all Knicks fans right now to spam the comment section. Show your appreciation for Derrick Rose by typing his jersey number 4 down below. We'll close out the show with some good stuff right here. Raymond Felton and Iman Shumpert. It is both their birthdays today. I saw this on my timeline before we were going to get ready to the show. I just wanted to reflect a little bit on the good old Knicks tape days. Man, those teams were a lot of fun. Felton, Shump, JR, Carmelo, Amari. You could keep going on and on. But outside of this season, that was the most fun I have ever had watching the New York Knicks. But this past year with Brunson and the crew was a lot of fun. But Shump, Felton, happy birthday, my guys. We appreciate everything you did for the city and the New York Knicks. Show them some love, Knicks Now. Type HBD down in the comments section. And happy birthday to Iman Shumpert and Raymond Felton. I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys, as always, for stopping by, taking time out of your busy schedules, and hanging out with us here on New York Knicks Now. I promise if we get more news, more rumors, whatever it is, we're going to put a video out as soon as possible. So remember, subscribe and turn your notifications on.